Hey, Qiuyuan is so misunderstood. When people first saw his Septimon drip marketing, a lot of players brushed him off as another stylish but forgettable husband though. You know the type. Looks poetic, sounds wise, then ends up collecting dust in your roster after a couple of weeks. But here's the twist. Shuyuan isn't just another background character. He's one of the most future-proof units Wuthering Waves has introduced in a long time. So, is Shuyuan secretly broken? Maybe. Is he a lot better than people realize? I think absolutely. Let's unpack his kit, his mechanics, and why this Ronin might be the long game's best investment. Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta po sa inyong lahat? His gameplay centers around a unique mechanic called Swordster's Soliloquy, a resource that builds up as you perform attacks or dodges. As his gauge fills, Qiuyuan unlocks enhanced effects that boosts his combat potential and his team's output. The more he fights, the more value he generates, particularly for teammates who rely on echo skill damage. This is where things start to get interesting, because echo skill amplification is a niche buff that not many characters in the game currently benefit from. Shuyuan's design feels like it's pointing directly towards Wuthering Waves' future meta, making him extremely valuable in the long run. That is, if you can bring him home. And one way you can do that is by using my loot bar link down in the description for up to 25% in savings. Not only are you saving money, but you're also helping the channel keep the lights on. Loot bars trusted by thousands of players worldwide with stellar Trustpilot reviews, and with their mobile DIY top-ups, you get the discounts without ever sharing your password. So, hit that link for an extra 10% off your first purchase. And huge thanks to Loot Bar for sponsoring this video. And this is why some players compare him to units like Lupa rather than to explosive DPS characters like Jinshi or Augusta. Qiuyuan isn't about raw numbers or instant gratification. He's about synergy, scaling, and sustainable value. His real strength lies not in what he can do alone, but in how he multiplies the strengths of others. For instance, pairing him with Galbrena, a fusion DPS who thrives on echo skill damage, it creates an incredible powerful combo. Qiuyuan's outro buff combined with forte circuit effects like the Bamboo Shade can dramatically boost Galbrena's entire rotation. 80% echo skill boost, guys. It's subtle but devastatingly effective. The same applies to Prolova, who also scales heavily with echo and resonance skill damage. With Qiuyuan supporting her uptime becomes smoother and her numbers climb steadily without requiring complicated rotations. However, there's a catch. Qiuyuan's value depends on your roster. If you don't have characters that synergize with echo scaling, his buffs won't be as impressive. He will still grant the crit damage boost, but that's it, and that's his biggest limitation so far. He's a specialist, not a generalist. Now, let's talk about his own power. In terms of raw personal damage, Shuyuan sits in the mid-tier range among sub-DPS characters. He's not weak, but he's not the star of the show either. What sets him apart, however, is his team-wide crit synergy. His Resonance Liberation, Sundering Strike, grants a team-wide crit damage boost that scales with his crit rates. For every 1% crit rate he has over 50%, he gives 2% crit damage to the team up to a cap of 30%. This creates a unique incentive to build him with high crit rate gear, turning his stats into direct team value. Because he generates energy efficiently, he can maintain this buff consistently, making him one of the few sub-DPS units who can provide both offensive and supportive utility at the same time. Of course, Qiuyuan isn't perfect. His main weaknesses lie in his learning curve and team dependency. He is not a plug-and-play buffer. If you slot him into a random team that doesn't rely on echo mechanics, he'll feel underwhelming. Managing his soliloquy meter efficiently takes practice too. You need to time his skill activations carefully and maintain rhythm in combat to maximize his bonuses. Plus, he's not the type of character who gives you explosive burst windows like Shorekeeper. His buffs are more gradual, offering consistent long-term value rather than short, flashy spikes. It's a different kind of strength, one that rewards strategy and patience. But here's where it gets exciting. Shuyuan's design seems built to age gracefully. The more Wuthering Waves leans into echo-based gameplay, the more relevant he becomes. Every new character that scales with echo damage, resonance effects, or hybrid mechanics makes Shuyuan buff pool more valuable. We've already seen this direction with characters like Galbrena and Prolova, and it's likely to continue. His synergy toolkit, his crit scaling, and his echo amplification are all mechanics that will keep finding new application as the roster continues to expand. That's what makes him one of the smartest horizontal investment in the game. He might not give you fireworks today, but he's quietly setting the foundation for future dominance. So, to answer the big question, is Shuyuan secretly broken? That depends on how you will utilize him. But is he massively underrated? Without a doubt. He's the kind of unit who doesn't need the top charts to matter. His true value is how seamlessly he fits into team structures that rely on precision, rotation timing, and echo synergy. He's not here to outshine your DPS, he's here to make them shine brighter. Qiuyuan rewards players who dive deep into the systems most players overlook. He's potentially a thinking man's resonator, a unit that rewards timing, patience, and a genuine understanding of synergy. The players who can look past the shiny burst numbers and see the rhythm of rotations, buff windows, and damage uptime will find that Shuyuan becomes a backbone rather than a bonus. If your account already includes characters like Galbrena or Frolova or Cantorella, or if you're planning to invest in future echo scaling resonators, then Shuyuan will feel like a perfectly fitted puzzle piece. His support potential grows exponentially with every new echo-based unit you obtain, turning what once looked like a niche support into a meta cornerstone. However, for those just starting out or building around simpler team comps, it might be best to wait until your roster naturally grows into its niche. That wraps up today's deep dive on Shuyuan. So, what do you guys think? Is he an overlooked genius or too niche for the current meta? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if this video resonated with you, please leave a like and subscribe. Ring that bell for massive Shuyuan gotcha luck. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po, and I will see you in my next video drop. Goodbye!